What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Spanko, and it's been a long time since you've seen Tony's face on this channel.
Hello, hello. I'm Tony. I am in need of a haircut, but that's not what we're here for today.
So Tony has his own channel. If you guys haven't seen it already, I'm sure you guys have, but if you guys haven't, it's YGO Tony. It'll be linked in the description below. And Tony's actually here to do a Dragunity deck profile today.
Yeah, so I have one of these also on my channel, but I also figured that it's good coverage, but it's also a good idea for me to share what this deck does and have a different discussion on different channels about it. So yeah, let's just get through this one.
Nice.
Okay, starting off, we have 3 Dragunity Phalanx and 2 Dragunity Coos.
Look at the DTs!
Yeah, these I'm glad I got these at when they were early and they were cheap. Now they're expensive as hell. So both these cards have an effect which, while they're equipped, they can special summon themselves from the equip zone to the monster zone. These effects are not once per turn, meaning that the more ways you have to equip to them, the more ways you can put them onto the field to be used for Synchro or Link plays. The reason why we're playing 3 Phalanx still and 2 Coos is that while Coos can be used as a level 4 for Synchro plays, it can only be used for making Dragunity monsters, which is not the worst thing, but a lot of your end boards require things that aren't Dragunities, so you want to have Phalanx in circulation more so that you can make those plays. You'll be using Coos more for making something like a Dragunity Barca, which is crucial for a lot of the combos going forward. From there, we have the Dragon Riders in our 3 Legatus and 1 Dux. So Dux used to be the main playmaker of the deck, but Legatus is just a little better. Legatus, by discarding one Dragunity card from your hand, allows you to equip any Dragunity Dragon Tuner directly from the deck. While Dux here can only equip from the graveyard. You're going to be using this most likely to equip whatever tuner you don't have currently in your hand or in circulation. Well, Dux is something that's great when you have something like Dragon Ravine to search up for a follow-up play instead. Going there, we then have the Dragunity Armor monsters from the Strux deck. We have 3 Dragunity Armor Mistletoe and 1 Leviatine. So Armor Mistletoe and Leviatine are dragon-type Dragunities that can equip other dragons. Mistletoe here, when special summon, you can special summon him by tributing any Dragunity monster. When special summon or normal summon from the hand, he equips any Dragunity Dragon monster from the graveyard, not just a Dragunity tuner. Something that will be relevant when you're playing some of the new support. But the idea behind this is essentially a good extender for the deck. Leviatine is actually a very weird extender. Because, like I said, most of the Dragunity effects are not once per turn, Levatine's effect is whenever he's no more special summoned, he equips any dragon from the graveyard. Which not only lets you equip some very traumatizing equip spells, but it also lets you equip pretty much any dragon, which once again, given the case that you're working with a lot of the dragon tuners, you can continuously special summon him back, equip a tuner, special summon the tuner, and then use both of them for a Synchro or a Link play that way.
So essentially, that's how you Link spam. Or not Link spam, Synchro spam.
Right. You'll be using it, there's a lot of combos where you might summon this card upwards of 3 to 4 times, not off of his own effect, which, let me clarify. It has its own effect to special summon itself. By banishing any dragon, any monster equipped with a Dragunity card, you can special summon this card from the hand or graveyard. So it recurs on its own, but you'll be special summoning him off effects like Pisty or Red MD over and over again to equip a dragon monster, to then special the dragon monster to then build boards that way as well. And this card used to be pretty trash until recently with the new support.
Okay.
Alright, moving on to some of the new stuff that we're playing. This is stuff from Ghost from the past. We have 3 Dragunity Remus. So Remus here is kind of like a Searchers on the lines of something like, I guess, Herald and all that stuff, where you can discard this card from your hand to search a Dragon Ravine from your deck to your hand. Likewise, while it's in the graveyard, should you control a Dragunity monster, you can special summon this card from the graveyard. Oh. So there's a few benefits from this. Obviously, searching Dragon Ravine is pretty great, because Dragon Ravine lets you do all the setup for all your plays, but the ability to special summon itself from the graveyard is actually pretty cool. See, a lot of these Dragunity non-Dragon Rider monsters need to equip one of the tuners to actually start their plays off. What happens if your opponent imperms or, I don't know, Veilers them? Now you don't have a play. Fortunately, though, at least Remus here doesn't have that condition, meaning that you can special summon him even if the equip doesn't go off, and then continue your plays from there as well that way. At worst, it becomes a dragon extender. The only limitation is that once you special summon him from the graveyard, you can only summon dragons from the extra deck. But I'm pretty sure there's not a single monster in your extra deck that isn't a dragon anyway, so it's probably not a big deal.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a lot of good dragon extra deck monsters now, so it doesn't really matter.
Due to the prevalence of Dragon Link, this is not a big deal. You'll probably see this card also in Dragon Link, actually, but in most cases for Dragunity, in the terms of pure Dragunity, you want to play 3 just so you can get into the Dragon Ravine as soon as possible.
Alright, makes sense.
Going from there, we also have 3 Legatus. Legatus can special summon himself from the hand if you control a Dragon Ravine or a Dragunity monster, which means that if you already have a Dragon Ravine on the field, you can actually just special summon him for free as a starting play without actually having to commit a normal summon. The only limitation is that the special summon is once per turn, meaning that opening multiple is kind of bad. So in real situations, you don't actually have to play 3. You can play 2 and they could be probably fine. It also has a nice niche effect in terms of tempo plays, where if you have a Dragunity monster equipped to something, you can target one spell and trap on the field and blow it up. Which can be useful if you're trying to play a grind game and just blowing up spells and traps, because it is 1800 at least for a beater kind of stance. Going on to the non-Dragunity cards, we have 2 Mist Valley Baby Rock and 1 Zephyros. These are your wing beasts that you'll probably be using alongside something like your Dragunity Gay Dirk to start some of your combos. Mist Valley Baby Rock here is that when this card is discarded from your hand, you can special summon it. Note the word when you can, meaning that this card can miss timing, and so that in situations where you discard it off of something like your Dragon Ravine, it will not trigger. However, that doesn't mean that this effect isn't useful. Thanks to Gay Dirk, you'll be using this card over and over again to put up an additional tuner, which you can then synchro with the Gay Dirk to make things like Crystal Wing or Savage Dragon for your end board. Zephyros, on the other hand, lets you bounce back face-up cards, which lets you bounce back something like your Dragon Ravine. You can also technically bounce back some of your Dragon Tuners. Not the worst thing, but I don't know why you would. Or you can also actually bounce back something like a Levitine, which you can special summon himself anyway. So it has some reusability that way. But the fact that it's a winged beast means that you can synchro with it, just like any of your other Dragon Riders, to make your Dragunity synchro monsters.
Oh, nice.
From there, we then have the Odd Eyes Revolution package, 1 Dark Worm and 3 Revolution. So this package could be larger technically. I've seen some builds play things like Amorphage Lestry and the Amorphage engine as well. But the basic idea is that there's 2 modes for this. You can discard this card to search into any level 8 lower or lower Dragon Pendulum monster, which is your Dark Worm. If you discard Dark Worm for something like your Dragon Ravine or any discard effect, and you then control no monsters, this card comes onto the field as an additional body. However, the nice part about this is that Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon, while on the scale, also acts as a reborn for any of your Dragon Synchro monsters.
Oh.
Which is a nice way to reuse some of your Dragon Synchros in your graveyard, like your end board monsters, but also lets you reuse Gay Dirk. Gay Dirk being not once a turn means that essentially with that effect, you can essentially reborn like that over and over again and abuse the effect multiple ways that way. You're never going to actually summon this card though, which is really unfortunate because there's some point I do actually want to build a deck to bring out this card, but it's probably not happening. Finally, finishing off the monsters, we have the 1 Red MD, Dragon, Reborn, can't complain, and this card. So who remembers Buster Dragon from like the Buster Lock days?
Yeah, I mean, it's off the ban list now.
Yeah, so they banned Union Carrier thinking like, yeah, this card is probably won't be played, but they then quickly forgot that not only can DMG Dragon equip this, but so can Levitine.
Oh, because it's a dragon.
Yeah, so you can summon a Levitine, equip a Buster Lock, and then you Buster Lock your opponent that way as well. And you could, and the fact that this card can be dumped off something like a Buster Whelp, the Link 2 monster, means that's actually super easy to set this up to like just create a random Buster Lock on your opponent.
That's kind of.
It is it's an alternative option to something like, for example, the Amorphage Goliath package. While the Goliath can lock your opponent out of the extra deck, it locks you out of the extra deck as well. And that can be a problem because a lot of times if your opponent does push back, right, they can leave the Goliath on the field, and that's actually a point of weakness for you.
Yeah.
If all you have is a Goliath and nothing else, you're probably not winning the game. And if you can't build a board further from that, you're probably just not going to go further. And as a result of that, while the Letry Goliath combo is very powerful, it leaves you open to just not having anything further. So I'd rather play this instead, this package instead, not only because it's easier to set up, but because it also means that at least if someone breaks my board, I can still build a board past this.
Alright, that makes sense.
Yeah. Moving on to spells, we have 3 Dragon Ravine. If you haven't noticed, everything here is pretty much max rated except for the Zephyros, because I couldn't find an Ultra one.
Nice.
But the Dragon Ravine, 2 modes. You can discard a card from your hand to either search for any level 4 or lower Dragunity monster, or dump a dragon from your deck to the graveyard. So this not only allows you to dump dragons like your Buster Lock from your graveyard as well, but it searches pretty much every one of your low-level Dragunity tuners or your Dragon Rider monsters, most of which essentially have effects that pretty much let you start your plays from. And the fact that this effect is also not once per turn, you can bounce back with Zephyros, activate it again. It's great setup either way, and you definitely it's just a good card you want to play at 3. From there, we have one of the new cards coming out of Ghost from the Past, 3 Dragunity Glow. Glow is the opposite of Dragon Ravine. Instead of searching a level 4 or lower Dragunity monster, it searches a level 5 or higher Dragunity monster. So it's a good way to get into your Arma monsters such as Arma Mistletoe or your Levitine. Now the cool part about this card is it also has a graveyard effect. You can banish it from the graveyard to target one of your equipped Dragunity cards and then special summon it to the field. Which is really cool because, as I mentioned before, these guys can equip dragon monsters, not just Dragunity tuner monsters. Meaning that there's a lot of combos with this card where you can actually use this card to search Mistletoe, summon the Mistletoe to equip a Dragunity synchro monster like Gay Dirk, and then banish this card to special summon the Gay Dirk back onto the field, use its effect, and then overlay into a Irada King with Tune.
Okay.
So that's the idea behind this card. Realistically, this card you can play at 1. The idea is that because you're playing now Dragunity Romulus, and Romulus can't search Dragunity spell or trap cards, you actually can use the effect to just grab this and then start your plays that way. However, the fact is, if you see this card, it also gives Romulus the ability to search for other things, which is why you do want to play the most of this card. Unfortunately, this card also does, because Arma Mistletoe is extender, it means that this card is equally an extender, and it also means that if you don't have setup, this card is kind of dead. So Yeah, there's a bit of risk on that one too.
But the ceiling looks really high for this deck.
Oh, this ceiling is quite. I'm going to show you a combo that requires just Legatus and any Dragunity tuner that I think ends up on 2 negates in the Buster Lock.
Oh, that's insane.
Going on from there, we have the 1 Divine Lance. Realistically, it's a equip spell. You equip the Dragunity, and I let you equip a Dragunity tuner from your deck. This is just essentially another substitute for a way to equip any Dragunity tuner from your deck.
Yep.
It's also searchable off of Romulus. That's the idea. Moving on, we have some general spells. We have the 1 Foolish Burial, the 1 Monster Reborn, the 1 Terraforming. You know what these do. You have the 1 Call by a Grave for hand traps, as well as the 3 Dark Rule No More. Now, at the time of releasing this video, I did get into a discussion with one of my viewers regarding the fact of should I play Dark Rule No More or something like Dragunity Hurricane, which I am not playing. So Dragunity Hurricane here says if only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon 1 Dragunity non-tuner and 1 tuner from your deck, and then synchro summon with them. But you can't summon anything from the extra deck but Dragon monsters. Not a big deal. The only issue that I have with this card is even though this card is pretty powerful, it's the fact that 1, you don't want to be playing too many going second cards because the realistic aspect is every going second card really won't do anything going first. 2, this card, because this card only requires that your opponent controls a monster, in any meta board you're playing against in the current day, you're probably playing up against 3 or 4 negations, and this one card isn't going to help you really push back. Like you can summon a negation, like something like a Crystal Wing or a Savage Dragon. But the question you have to ask yourself is, will that Savage Dragon get you through 3 or 4 negates, whereas Dark Rule No More just says, I'm just going to turn off the entire field and go off. Your ceiling is so high at this point, that's not like you needed the extra monster. It'd be great if you open both, but at that point, you have to ask yourself, how lucky do you open?
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Finally, we have the trap for the deck. We're only playing 1. We're playing the 1 Dragon Oublié. Oublié is a counter trap, which when activated, if you control a Dragunity Synchro monster, you can negate a spell or trap, and then if it's a level 10 or higher Dragunity Synchro monster, it gains attack equal to its level. This is mostly good because a lot of times if you open the globe, Romulus can search this, and when you enter your board, you can end on Dragunity Synchro monster, that this then allows you to dodge things like Dark Rule No More or Droplets. It's another form of protection that isn't a monster effect protection, which can be very useful against because let's face it, Dark Rule No More is pretty strong in this format.
Yeah, it's very relevant.
Yeah. And the combos for this deck is pretty crazy. Like, there's boards that you can build with this deck that essentially can make Crystal Wing before the 5th summon, so that you can't Nibiru you.
Oh,
and
nice.
because of the equip mechanic, it also means that things like Ash or actually Ash doesn't really work, or even for example, something like Ash or Bell don't work against this deck because they don't inherently special from the graveyard. They're special from a unique zone.
Yeah.
There's a few hand traps that can work around it, but it's pretty resilient against hand traps too. Going into the extra deck here, what do we have? We start off with the Dragunity Synchros. We have the 1 Vajrayana. We're only playing 1 this time. This is usually used as a follow-up play now, because in most cases, you want to start with your Gay Dirk instead. Gay Dirk here, once per turn, while this card is on the field, you can add 1 level 4 lower dragon or winged beast monster to your hand, and then discard 1 dragon or winged beast monster from your hand. So the idea is that, 1, because the discard occurs after the add, it will not cause things like Mist Valley Baby Rock to miss timing. But what the idea behind this card is that since this card effect is not a hard once per turn, but a soft one, as long as you find ways to bring this card back and summon it over and over again, you can continue to use this effect to add Winged Beast and then send other cards from your hand. Not only working essentially as a Foolish Burial to dump other Winged Beasts or Dragons to your graveyard to set up the graveyard, but also to dump things like, again, Baby Rock to start combos as well.
Yep.
From there, what do we have? We have the 1 Varka. Varka, when summoned, equips a bunch of dragon monsters from your graveyard. So you could just equip a bunch of tuners they have lying in the graveyard and then just special them all to the field to start comboing off. We have the 1 Crystal Wing because Vajrayana or this plus a tuner makes this. We have the 1 Savage because you're playing enough links to actually make Savage. And then we have the newly added Dragunity Knight Irida Bear. Irida Bear is pretty much Crystal Wing in its own way. You can make this card using any Dragunity tuner monster and any non-tuner monster. While on the field, if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can banish any Dragunity monster from your graveyard, negate it, and then banish the card. So banishing the card means not float effects won't work either. And should it run over a monster by battle, it banishes it as well. So this is just another negate that you can make, but the fact that it's a level 10 means that you actually have a way of, if you summon something out like a Leviatine, for example, and Leviatine is level 8, if you equip a level 2 tuner, you can synchro with it to make this as one of your end boards. And because this is a Dragunity Synchro monster, you can work with something like Oublié for the negation as well. Oh. So essentially, these 2 cards give you a double negation that works around not only a monster effect, but also essentially the Dark Rule No More spell as well. Going on from there, that's the Synchros. We then have the Link monsters. We have the 1 Erratic Spheres because great endboard monster to bounce our opponent from. We have the 1 Dragon Whelp. This is what you'll be using to dump your Buster Destruction Sword to the graveyard. We have the Ron 1 Romulus. Romulus here, when link summoned, the more important part about the fact is that when link summoned, it searches for any Dragunity spell or trap card or Dragunity. You'll be using this to search Glow, which then Glow can be used to combo off into the rest of your plays with. We have the Guard Dragons and Pisty and Elpie. We have the Triple Burst, which allows you to point down so that you can actually get the play off. And then we have the one Dark Steel, which you link away with any of these two to create more arrows for another Guard Dragon play. And finally, we have the one Irada King of the Tomb. Your Irada King of the Tomb made using 2 level 6 dragons to summon any dragon from the deck. You'll be using this, as I mentioned before, that Mistletoe into Gator play essentially makes a Tomb. A Tomb will then probably summon something like a Levantine or Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon from the deck, of which you can then pretty much go on from there. And this is something that you only play one because you only do this for that one play.
All right, Tony, I noticed this was 14 cards in your extra deck.
Yes.
We only play 14 on this channel.
Yes.
Right,
If you want the 15 card, you go to my channel for that.
All right, you can go to check out Tony's channel. Link in the description. But you want to show us the combo?
Yes, so combo. Let's see if I know how to do this right. So one of the things I will quickly preface here is that Dragunity is a deck with like probably one of the highest skill levels. There's so many combos. There's so many paths. And a lot of times, a lot of them are pretty subpar. I believe the combo here is that if you open a Legatus along with any Dragunity tuner, you end up with 2 negates, the Buster Lock, and a Spheres.
All right, let's see what happens.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so we're going to get into the combo video now. It's a 2-card combo, right, Tony?
Yeah, it's a 2-card combo. You just need to open Legatus, or if somehow you have a Dragoon in the graveyard, you can open Ducks as well, and any tuner.
All right.
So in this case, we're going to start off by normal summoning the Legatus, and then discarding the tuner, where's the graveyard here, we're going to equip the other tuner that we're missing from our deck to it. In this case, since we sent Phalanx, we can send the Koos.
If you open the Koos, you can just send the Phalanx, right?
Yeah. Realistically, you just want the Koos in circulation in some form or way because Koos is important for this combo.
Okay.
You're then going to activate Koos' effects and equip special summon it to the field. You're going to treat it as a level 2 alongside the Legatus, which is a winged beast. You're going to summon out your Dragunity Knight, Gaidurg. Gaidurg's effect is then going to activate. You're then going to add the Mist Valley Baby Rock, and then special discard the Mist Valley Baby Rock, and to special summon the Mist Valley Baby Rock. Alternatively, you can also add Remus and discard Remus. It works the same way, because you're going to then convert these 2 monsters away to summon out your Dragunity Knight, Romulus, wherever Romulus may be. From there, you're going to activate Romulus' effect to search for a Dragunity spell or trap card, in this case being your Dragunity Glow. You're going to act Dragunity Glow and then use Dragunity Glow's effect to search for your Mistletoe. You're then going to tribute the Romulus to special summon Mistletoe and use Mistletoe's effect to equip your Gaidurg. Then you're going to activate the effect of Glow in your graveyard, banishing it to special summon out the Gaidurg, and then activate Gaidurg's effect one more time, now to add a Zephyros, and then send that same Zephyros to the graveyard. From there, you have 2 level 6 monsters. You're going to overlay both these level 6 monsters to summon out your Irada Dragon King of a Tomb. Let's put an extra monster, why not? You're going to activate the Tomb's effect, detaching a material. In this case, you probably want to detach the Gaidurg in case you want to bring it back later, but you're going to summon out your Levantine. Levantine's effect is then going to activate, and you're then going to equip the Koos to it. You're then going to special summon the Koos before then activating the effect of the Zephyros in your graveyard to bounce back the Levantine to your hand, and special summon the Tell to the field. From there, you're going to treat Koos now as a level 4 monster, synchro summoning with the Zephyros as a winged beast to summon out your Dragunity Knight, Barca. Barca will then trigger to equip any number of Dragunity dragons from your graveyard. You're going to equip the Koos, the Phalanx, as well as a Romulus. Then, from there, you're going to special summon both of the tuners out, and then you're going to link one of the tuners away alongside the Attune to summon out a Link 2 dragon, in this case being your Buster Whelp. Buster Whelp will then trigger, allowing you to send your Destruction Sword from your deck to the graveyard. You're then going to link the other one away to summon out... Where is it? There it is. Your Elpie. Now you want to create a zone for it to point down to. What you're going to do is you're going to take the Levantine in your hand, and you're going to banish the Barca that's equipped with a Romulus to special summon it to the field. Then Levantine will then trigger to equip a Phalanx. You're then going to special summon the Phalanx before linking with the Levantine and the Buster Whelp to summon out your Triple Burst Dragon. Now Triple Burst and Elpie point to the same zone, so you're going to activate Elpie's effect now, and then you're going to summon out a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon's effect is then going to activate to bring back a dragon from your graveyard. You're going to bring back the Levantine once again, and then use Levantine's effect to equip a Koos, to special summon the Koos.
Yep.
From there, you're going to link away the Triple Burst and the Guard Dragon Elpie, which are both Dark Dragons, to summon out your Dark Steel. From there, you're then going to Synchro summon with these 2 here to summon out an Irada Bear. From there, you're then going to link this away to summon out a Pisty. From there, you're then going to activate Pisty's effect to bring back your Guiderg. Then, finally, you're going to link these two away to summon out your Hieratic Spheres, before then activating Guiderg's effect once more, adding a second Mist Valley Rock to your hand, discarding it to then special summon the Mist Valley Baby Rock, then Synchro summon with these two monsters to summon out either a Savage Dragon, or in most cases, I guess a Crystal Wing as well, but to summon out a Savage Dragon to equip the Link 4, giving it 1400 attack and 4 counters.
Yep.
And this is the board you can end with. Alternatively, if you didn't want to actually make the Irida Bear, you can instead, when that singular combo, instead of bringing back the Irida Bear or summoning back the Leviatine to equip a tuner, what you can do instead, you could bring back the Leviatine to then equip the Buster Whelp in your graveyard for Extract Lockout instead. And it really depends on what kind of board you're playing against. If you're playing against a control matchup, you'd rather have the Irida Bear instead of this, because opponent's probably not going into their extra deck. But in most cases, you essentially end up with triple disruptions on your opponent's turn, one of which will banish whatever destroys, one of which, when you spin it a monster, you will special summon another monster, and then if your opponent doesn't out the red MD, you can then continue your plays from there. You have basically enough damage already for an OTK, but on the following turn, you then essentially have at least 2 more Synchros to go off of.
So you have 2 choices. You can Buster Lock, or you can make the new Synchro.
Right. So either way, your opponent either has to figure out how to out this board without an extra deck, if they are playing an extra deck, or your opponent has to figure out how to out this board off of 2 negates, 1 spin, and the potential that you actually have follow-up plays on the following turn. Meaning that they can either out the negates or they out the follow-up plays. Either way, they're kind of in a bad situation. And this is only off of 2 cards. On my channel, I do more test hands, so if you actually do a test hand where I end up, I believe, with this kind of board alongside the Buster Lock.
Oh, okay.
And then I believe in the following week, I will have something called Combo Extender Plus, which is I looked into other test hands and other deck options to see what other deck combos I could build with this. So stay tuned for that at least.
All right. Well, thank you, Tony, for the deck profile. Thank you for the combo. It looks legit. It looks pretty legit, if you ask me.
This deck is very nutty.
I'm happy to have you on the channel again, man. It's been a while.
Yeah. Hopefully, when the things calm down a bit and COVID really takes a back seat, we can actually have more deck profiles and I could be here a little more often.
Yeah, okay. We always appreciate you on the channel. So thank you guys all for watching. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. Go check out Tony's channel. Link will be in the description below. And yeah, I guess with that, Spanko and Tony signing out. Peace.